Okay, so yeah, there is NBA basketball on today. Believe it or not, the NBA actually has 3 games today here on Sunday, February 9th. Today is the Super Bowl, but who needs that when you've got NBA on just in the morning, though. We've got 1 game on at 10 a.m. and then 2 on at 11 a.m. So again, this will be a shorter NBA predictions video before the monster slate we have tomorrow. And again, a huge game tomorrow on Monday, featuring Luka Doncic, his debut with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I will get more in depth about, again, if you've been watching these videos, you know how I talk about the Lakers a lot, being my favorite team. I will get more into the Mark Williams situation with the Lakers tomorrow. They're gonna be okay. But regardless, tomorrow's Luka's debut for the Lakers. I will be there. I'm very excited, but today we just have 3 games and 2 of them might be blowouts, but we'll talk about them. So folks, before we get into the predictions, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted it really early today, but with the Super Bowl being on today, got these videos out as early as possible. We have our college basketball best bets. Make sure to check that video out. That's linked in the description down below, along with our Super Bowl 59 prediction, Chiefs Eagles tonight. Yes, make sure to go check it out. And also later today, we will have our UFC Fight Night Cannonier versus Rodriguez predictions. Make sure to check that video out later today. All right, on to the first of our 3 games today in the National Basketball Association. We're going to start in Detroit, Michigan with the Detroit Pistons and the Charlotte Hornets. This one's pretty straightforward. Detroit minus 9.5 and Detroit money line. Now, I guess we can talk a little bit about Mark Williams because the Hornets are playing. Charlotte coming off a huge victory, by the way, the other night over the San Antonio Spurs on Friday night. I don't think they make it back-to-back, by the way, and also now they're going on the road against Detroit. We talked about it a little bit before their game against the San Antonio Spurs, but yes, the Charlotte Hornets do not have a home game for the rest of the month of February. And that's right, today's February 9th. They do not have another home game. They are on the road in Detroit, in Brooklyn, in Orlando, Lakers, Nuggets, Portland, Sac, Warriors, Dallas. They have to play all those road games before heading back to Charlotte for 5 straight home games. 6 straight home games. Who made this schedule? I don't know. But anyways, the Hornets get Mark Williams back. I'm sure he's not playing tonight because he got on a plane from LA back to Charlotte last night. Same with Cam Reddish and Dalton Knecht, I assume. So Mark Williams is back. He's a Hornet. They went out and got Yusuf Nurkic, but now what is Nurkic to this team? Because now all of a sudden he was supposed to be, getting rotational minutes. Now he's just a reserve. And he's in the same situation that he was in Phoenix basically now. I don't know. Again, Mark Williams has always been kind of injury prone, and obviously that's the reason why the Lakers thought, all right, this guy's not going to be our center of the future. Let's move on now. Let's rescind the trade so we get Knecht, our picks back, plus Cam Reddish. And again, we'll talk about the Dalton Knecht side of things tomorrow, which obviously, again, I do think it affects Knecht to a way because he's back on the team, obviously, and this is the same team that was willing to trade him. Now, I think it does help the Lakers a little bit, I'm not going to lie, but obviously the lack of a center sucks. Dwight Howard, wherever you are, please, I can't believe I'm saying this, Dwight Howard, please come back to the Lakers. If you were to tell me this when I was very young, in 2013, when Dwight Howard was a Los Angeles Laker, if after the end of that season here, I would be 12 years later, hoping they get Dwight Howard back in the big 2025, I would have laughed. But legitimately, can we get Dwight Howard, please? I really don't want Daniel Theis. If not, give me Mo Bamba, I guess, again. What's JaVale doing? Also, get Victor Oladipo. No, they don't have roster spots anymore. Anyways, give me the Pistons to win this game. Cade Cunningham does have the questionable tag on him, or the day-to-day tag, but he's probable to play in this basketball game, so he's fine. Dennis Schroeder might be making his Pistons debut tonight. It's great. The Pistons are just the better basketball team. Charlotte, again, coming off a victory. I doubt they make it back-to-back, and they're on the road for this spot. I think everything kind of points towards a Pistons victory and a covering of the spread as well. I get it. LaMelo Ball is back, which makes this team even more dangerous, obviously. Miles Bridges had a huge night winning the game for the Hornets in San Antonio, but it's not like this team is magically fixed, obviously, with Melo in the lineup. Obviously, again, Melo is by far their best guy, and he was snubbed of being an all-star this season, but there's a reason, again, Charlotte is a 13-36 team, and it's not Melo's fault. 100% it's not. He's the franchise guy here in Charlotte. Will they ever put a winning team around him? Probably not, but it's not his fault. It's just, again, when you have one really solid player, Miles Bridges too, with Ball, I mean, there's just not much winning going on. Detroit's by far the way better basketball team. Give me Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, and the guys here from Detroit. We're taking the Pistons to win at home and to cover the 9.5 points here against LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. All right, we move on to our second game of the day, and we go to Houston, Texas. For the Houston Rockets and the Toronto Raptors, can the Rockets finally get back on the winning track? I think so. I think tonight's got to be the night, but I wouldn't take them to cover the spread. I get it, Toronto's lost 3 games of their own, but I'm taking Houston plus 9.5, okay? If there was ever an impressive double-digit loss, that is exactly what the Toronto Raptors had in their last game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, playing the best team in the league. They only lose the Thunder by 12 points. Again, it could have been a lot worse for Toronto. They actually covered the spread in OKC for that game because OKC were 19.5-point favorites in their matchup with the Raptors just a couple nights ago. Obviously, Chet's return for the Thunder, but shout out to the Thunder last night, man. Beating the Memphis Grizzlies. That's the best team in the league. Undoubtedly, they are still the team to beat. But Houston has now found themselves from at one point the 2 seed at their peak, now down to the 5th seed. They are behind the Lakers, behind the Nuggets. You know, this is a spot where they'll probably win. I don't think they lose to Toronto, but I wouldn't expect them to cover the 9.5 points. They lose to Anthony Davis and the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, AD went out with the groin injury in the 4th quarter, but it looks like AD is going to be fine. I don't really think he's going to miss any action. Maybe he'll miss 1 game, but it looks like Davis should be okay. But the thing about the Rockets now, they've lost 6 straight games. Their last victory came on January 28th with their road victory by 4 against the Atlanta Hawks, which actually came after very impressive wins. I mean, this is the weird part about the Rockets, right? They win 4 in a row. They beat Cleveland in back-to-back games. They go to the Boston Garden and beat the Celtics, and they go to Atlanta and beat the Hawks. But then what happens after that? They lose 6 straight games. They lose to Memphis, okay, fine on the road, but they lose to the Nets, go to New York, go to Madison Square Garden, lose to the Knicks, that's fine. But they go to Barclays Center, blow the game away against the Brooklyn Nets, and then lose back-to-back games on the road against a Timberwolves team that's been struggling. And then obviously Dallas, who again had AD and looked great in that first half, obviously defensively. Okay. But still, at the end of the day, Houston's lost 6 straight games. And if they're going to be a title challenger, if they're going to be a team that's going to be one of the elite squads, elite in the Western Conference, they can't be losing 6 straight games. I don't care who you're playing. I don't care if you're playing all 6 against the Thunder. You got to find a way to win games. So this can't cut it for the Rockets. I think they beat the Raptors. It's a get-right spot. But will they cover 9.5? Probably not. The Raptors are progressively playing better. I get they've lost 3 in a row, but they've been playing some decent teams. Now, the injury situation around the Raptors is kind of rough right now. Brandon Ingram's still out. Obviously, they traded for him at the deadline. Jakob Poeltl, who's been their starting center all year long, not playing tonight, so we can expect likely Kelly Olynyk to be the starting center tonight, and then RJ Barrett's still out with that concussion. So it kind of leaves the Raptors with obviously a very mismatch, or just a scrambled, I guess, starting lineup of IQ, Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter, Barnes, Abaji, Magobo, because I forgot they traded Kelly Olynyk. My fault. I forgot they traded Kelly. So Magobo is probably starting, or Mobo, I think his name. That's how you pronounce Jonathan Mobo's name. This is kind of brutal. Yeah, it's kind of brutal. Boucher, I don't know. Boucher's not going to start. So yeah, they're probably going IQ, Dick, Barnes, Abaji, Mobo. I still think they can cover just the way the Rockets have been playing recently. And on top of that, Houston's coming off the second half of a back-to-back. Toronto has not played since Friday, so they got a day off in between this spot. Yeah, I think the Raptors can still cover. I know they're shorthanded in this game, but again, Houston just played last night, yesterday morning, afternoon in Dallas. Didn't have to travel far, obviously, Dallas to Houston for this game, but they just, they're coming off the second half of back-to-back. I think it's going to be kind of tough for them. I think they'll win, but I would not expect them to cover. So yeah, give me the Toronto Raptors to cover the 9.5 points on the road, but we expect the Rockets to pick up their first victory in 7 games, and obviously Vegas expects that as well, with the Rockets being a minus 500 favorite at home in the Toyota Center. We go on to our final game of the night, or of the day, and it's by far the biggest game of the day. You saw it on the thumbnail, and obviously it's the game that has the closest line. We go to Milwaukee for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers. We thought Philly was back. I guess we were wrong. The Sixers with back-to-back losses to the Miami Heat and to the Detroit Pistons on Friday night. Obviously, Tyrese Maxey's doing his thing. He is putting this team on his back. I think his back is very sore from carrying this team. And what we have now with Joel, who's been injured all year long, obviously, and with Paul George. I mean, hell, is Embiid even going to play today? I don't know. Joel Embiid is questionable for this game here in Milwaukee. Also, Gershon Yabusele has popped up on the injury report, but Yabusele is probable, so he will likely play. For the Bucks, they're coming off that loss to the Atlanta Hawks. They've been dealing with the injuries of their own right, and no Giannis Antetokounmpo in this game. Giannis is out with a calf injury. Pat Connaughton, by the way, is questionable, and it looks like Kevin Porter Jr., KPJ, makes his debut for the Bucks tonight, but we'll see. So expect a big Damian Lillard night, obviously. Lillard, again, is probably going to drop 35 plus. Expect, again, some Brook Lopez threes. Obviously, the all-time leading scorer in Brooklyn Nets franchise history, Brook Lopez, yes. Expect him. Kyle Kuzma as well. Oh, God, it's just, I don't understand the Kyle Kuzma the ad. I still don't get it. Why did they get Kuzma? I get it, Chris Middleton was not giving you that same production, but it's like the whole thing, like, why did they trade Drew Holiday? Why do they send Drew Holiday to Portland and then he ends up in Boston? I mean, it's like you did it to yourself. And I feel like getting Kyle Kuzma is kind of like, all right, you did it to yourself again. Because you look at Kuzma's only game, obviously the Bucks still haven't won with Kuzma. They're 0-1, right? But they get Kuzma, they go to Atlanta. Kyle Kuzma comes off the bench, plays 24 minutes, goes 4 for 13, 3 threes, 3 for 8, and 12 points. I mean, he's just not an efficient scorer. He's not. Sure, he's gonna play decent defense, but you can't rely on Kyle Kuzma. I don't understand it. What does he do for this team? He's not starting. He's going to start tonight probably with Giannis out. No, they didn't even start him last game with Giannis out. So they're not going to start Kuzma. Kuzma's still coming off the bench because they'll just start Bobby Portis at the 4 instead. I don't understand. I don't get it. Why did they do this? I'm serious. I get it. Middleton was not having a big impact on this team this season, but they're worse now. They are worse with Kuzma, guys. And also, Kyle Kuzma hasn't played meaningful basketball since he left Los Angeles. He hasn't, because that's just how sorry the Wizards have been. So I don't understand. I'm still taking the Bucks just because we have a sorry team that they're playing today. A sorry team other than Jared McCain. Well, that was not the name I was trying to say, but sure, he's great. Tyrese Maxey, obviously. PG, I mean, he's posted more clips of his podcast on YouTube than he's scored points. Kelly Oubre, can ball. I like Yabusele a lot, but we don't even know if Joel Embiid's going to play. So I am kind of conflicted on this pick because I think if Embiid plays, I do think the Sixers have a very good chance to win, but at the same time, is this team going on the road to beat Milwaukee, even without Giannis? Probably not. The Bucks are 27-23, Phillies 20-31. So yeah, the Sixers are 11 games under 500, but yet they're only a game behind the Bulls for the play-in spot. They've been that bad. Again, you are 11 games under 500, and all it takes is for you to win a game and the Bulls to lose a game, and then you're back in the play-in. It's ridiculous. We don't need the 10th play-in team. We just don't. Just keep like the West kind of need it, but in the East, just go back to the format that we had in the bubble. The 9 plays the 8, and then the 9 wins twice, you put them in the playoffs. I don't know. It's just, we don't need, I guess, the Sixers, though, are a team you don't want to see, though. They're not in the play-in because, at full strength in a playoff game, they're probably going to be half decent. It's like the Lakers every year in the play-in, right? Not great in the regular season, obviously not this year, but just mid in the regular season, but you get them in the one-game play-in, they're probably going to win it because LeBron's on the team, obviously, right? But we've moved past that now in Los Angeles. This is a top 6 team every single year now. Thank you, Luka Doncic. And LeBron, by the way. He's 40, just saying. What was Jordan doing at 40, by the way? How many playoffs did Jordan make at 40 years old? Just saying. Anyways, yeah, give me the Bucks. I'd stay away, guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'd stay away. I think the best bet today, probably Toronto plus 9.5. I get it. They are shorthanded. Now, obviously, the best bets today are with college basketball. So go check out our college basketball video in the description down below. Our best plays, I think, today are in college basketball, right? Those games start very soon, so get on that. There's a game that starts at 11 today that I really like that I talk about in that video. But if you're going to make a play in the NBA today, I'd probably go plus 9.5 Toronto, I think. The Rockets have been pretty bad, and, the Raptors just have to stay somewhat competitive. They don't have to win. This game, again, I'd personally stay away from. If I had to make a pick, though, I'd still take Milwaukee. I expect a big Dame night, and who knows what Joel Embiid's doing. Try to guess, because nobody knows. So we're taking the Milwaukee Bucks, we're taking the Raptors to cover, and we're taking the Pistons to cover at home as well here for our NBA predictions here for Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th, 2025. So folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.